welcome back to the Football Tragics. I'm your host, Aaron, joined here by Morty. So, just myself and Morty. There's a few games we'll just kind of run over the results for the last couple of days. Obviously, your boys 2-1 over Villa was a pretty tough game. What were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it's looking pretty shaky for that first half. I mean, we were all over them, but they kind of seem complacent with that, as most teams do, and they just sit back and they just kind of accept it. But eventually, we found a way through. We got another, put us up 2-1, and I wouldn't say we'd look like we're losing that game, but we very well could have drawn that game. So I'm just happy we take the win away.
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 points in the day, and it's much needed. We'll get into City's result in a bit, but they obviously won 5-1. So De Bruyne just saving his masterclass for now, when you guys kind of would have liked the opposite. But it looks as though the title's all but wrapped up. 2 games to go now for both teams. Can't see them dropping points the way they're playing right now. You could probably see them going and putting 4 past West Ham and Brighton, I believe, or I can't remember who else they're playing, but
West Ham Villa.
West Ham Villa, sorry, yeah, but I can see them putting 4 past either of those. So as much as you guys will probably win your remaining 2 games, I just don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's all but wrapped up, or do you think there's another twist still to come?
I don't know what to say. I mean, it's hard to knock them when they put 10 past the last 2, so they don't look like they're falling away, but they are missing some players. I mean, there's obviously no Kyle Walker. There's been no Diaz. They've both been out. Might be a slip. Like, they've obviously conceded this one. Although KD put in his masterclass, there's always a chance, but it's looking more bare as it goes on.
There is a chance. I think it'll go down to the final game regardless, but you'll probably have to overturn a 20-goal swing at that point, so it might not be possible. But yeah, there was a couple other games. Obviously, Chelsea cruised to a 3-0 win over Leeds. I'm not going to talk about that too much, just given Leeds were terrible. Everton 0-0 with Watford. They probably would have liked a win. That was a boring game, but given the Leeds result, an Everton win here would have all but kept them up. I still think they're going to stay up at this point, but yeah, that 0-0 draw, it's not the worst result. Still another point on the board. But let's get into the games at hand. So got all these games on the screen. However, before that, there is a North London derby tomorrow morning, which we can talk about beforehand. But all the games Sunday night, through to Wednesday. So we got Spurs versus Burnley, Wolves, Norwich, West Ham City, Watford, Leicester, Leeds, Brighton, Villa, Palace, Everton, Brentford, Newcastle, Arsenal, Southampton, and Liverpool. And the other 2 teams that are missing, Chelsea and Liverpool. Oh, sorry, Liverpool is there, but Chelsea and Liverpool obviously play a cup final on the weekend. Yep. But let's get into the North London derby to start. Tottenham v Arsenal. It was supposed to be played months and months ago. Finally getting played now. If Arsenal win, Champions League football is theirs for next season. Do you think that'll happen?
I mean, looking at the table currently, this game is the be-all and end-all for that top 4 race. There is not anything that can sort of swing that now. I think Chelsea, that last win, puts them there, keeps them there. If Arsenal win this, that puts them, what is it, 7 points clear? Which, with 3 games in hand, yes, can be overturned, but that's 2 draws for Arsenal and scrap home, and they're there. So, yeah, and then in saying that, for Tottenham, even a win against them here will not do it for them. They've got the better goal difference, but I can't see Arsenal going on and losing this and then continuing to lose the rest of the games of the season. So it's going to be tight. It's great to see. We've got battle at the top, battle for top 4, battle at the end. I think Arsenal are going to take it away. I mean, obviously, the last game they played against Liverpool, Tottenham. I obviously wasn't on the review, but I'll just put my 2 cents in. You're not a big club if you have to play counter-attacking, counter ball to specific teams. You want to be at the top, you've got to play your own ball, and it ain't going to work for them if they keep doing this. And no trophies, no nothing. It's the team that's knocked out of the Conference League. If they don't have a good hard look at themselves, then yeah, it's just the way it is. So Arsenal top 4, they got it locked up.
Right, I'm going to go the opposite. I think Spurs do them at their ground. But then I wouldn't be surprised if they slip up again in the next game, which we'll get into against Burnley because it's just the way the Spurs are. But yeah, I think they do win this game. They keep it interesting. Do I think they get top four? I think Arsenal probably still, even at that point, are still the favourites for it. But I just think that hopefully there is another twist in that, keeps it a bit more exciting, goes down to the wire there. Because I'm liking all these battles, I suppose, in different parts of the game, title, top four, and relegation. So I'm going to go with the Spurs win. You're going with Arsenal. Let's get into the next game, which is Spurs versus Burnley again. So they've got a quick turnaround. Yeah, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw here, just given that Spurs are Spurs. They'll be in a higher than they'll just go and bottle against Burnley. We know Burnley, I wouldn't say, I'm not playing for more than what Spurs are. They're both playing for equal amounts. But Burnley, again, they need to stay up. So a result here could possibly do it for them as well. So 1-1 draw is the way I'll see it. How about you?
Much the same, to be honest. I think Burnley just got to look for some points. Where are they? They're still there or thereabouts, but I think they know a draw is that's enough for them. They've got 3 games left, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they've got 3 games left
over Leeds.
Yeah, and 1 point here, 1 point against the next 2. That's enough. I think that there's bigger worries with Everton and Leeds. So yeah, and then they're in red hot form too. I mean, Spurs can very well be very accepting of whatever results come out and very complacent this game. As we've seen across the whole season, they've been stumped by some of these. Even when Spurs were in form at the start, they went on to what was it, beat City, and was it Burnley they lost to, or someone way down there that just went and lost into the week after in very Spurs fashion. So I think either way, no matter the North London derby result, I think they draw or lose this game. So it's going to be a very hard week for Campo.
Wolves versus Norwich. This is a complete throwaway game, in my opinion. Wolves aren't getting Conference League. Norwich are down. I'm just going to go with a Wolves comfortable 2-0 result. How are you seeing it?
I hope for the same thing, because a Wolves 2 loss on the trot is not what I want to be facing last game as Liverpool. So I hope they get the win here. That's enough confidence for them, and they can go and concede 8 to us at the last day.
Right. Let's skip over that one then. West Ham versus City. Obviously, we know how you want this to go. Realistically, how do you think it's going to go?
This is
the game that probably. Yeah.
This is the aim. Obviously, I think West Ham are where they are. They can't. Sorry, no, they will be able to jump to 6th.
Yeah, they can still get Europa League again. So
they can't battle Spurs. Well, they have beat them before. Was it they beat them? Yeah. Was it a draw?
Either a draw. I think they might have beat them, or a draw. Either way, I can't remember.
I think it was very, very. I remember it being very close either way, and
yeah.
I think this is probably the final thing that can get West Ham across the line with any future signings, holding on to Declan Rice, whatever it may be. This is what they should be targeting. Get into that top 6. That brings them up there. That's a good season for them, no matter how you look at it from where they start, where we all thought they were going to end up, to where they are now. It's a great season for them, and I think they could have the final say here. I mean, this could very, very well end up 3-2 West Ham win. I'm not going to sit here and say West Ham will batter them, but it's going to be a very close game. I think City are going to be in trouble with some defensively. I mean, they don't have. I mean, I can't say they don't have the depth there. They've got about 48 million defenders at that club. They're all worth 50 million each, but their starting players, so to speak, aren't currently there. West Ham will find a way to do something. They haven't really had much come up against them. I mean, if Wolves can score against them, I think West Ham can easily put 3 against them. So, but in saying that, City can go on and score 5 again. So I'm not too confident, but I can't give you a result here because my heart's just saying this needs to be a West Ham win. So.
Look, I can agree with you. I think West Ham will trouble them defensively. You did mention they've got a few players out, City, so I can see a goal or 2 from West Ham. But just the way that City are playing right now, the form they're in, De Bruyne has found the perfect time to just rack up his tally. I can see City comfortably scoring 4 and not even getting out of second gear. So I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think maybe a 4-2 to City. In terms of the title race, it'd be interesting to see City lose this one and go into the final game of the season, level on points, and it really matters then. But I do think City's going to win 4-2. All right, let's get into. Sorry,
Did we
go
talk
on.
about the latest for City? There's the latest signing.
Yeah, was it only 60 million it cost them up front, but Erling Haaland official to City. What's your thoughts on that? It was always going to happen, and I think.
Well, I'd be worried for that striker they signed out of Argentina who thought he's going to get a run. He's not going to see much ball next season at all. 2 million less than Fred. They'll get me Man United dig in there. Well done there, but
I think it almost sees Jesus leave the club, though, does it? Like, it looks as though he's going to either Arsenal or someone thereabouts.
It depends on whether he can accept playing that wing role and that kind of rotational thing that Pep loves, the Pep roulette, so to speak. It's going to be interesting. If Jesus makes that transition to the winger, with all the links that Jesus has had, I still think Mahrez probably would be the one to want out first, because I think he's kind of over the bench kind of role, starting this, starting that, and yeah. But Haaland, great signing. Don't know. I still don't see it breaking that Champions League deadlock for him. There's more issues at that club. I can't say they're issues. They win the league bloody every second year, but it's, I don't know. They need to start playing that perfect 11 most weeks in the league to get that confidence in that team, because as you see, KDB's absolutely on fire right now, but it's not about him. He can't win a Champions League for him. He needs a team to win him, and when everyone else seems to play 1 week and then rest the next, it's not going to work for him. So it'll be interesting to see whether Haaland plays every game.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be all of a sudden they're going to win the Champions League. I think that comes more down to Pep and his failure to actually put the right lineup in a final. We've seen how many times he overthinks it in finals and semi-finals, and how they collapse within a few minutes and concede a few goals. So I don't think Haaland's going to make too much difference there, but he will bang him in for sure. And it'll be interesting to see who stays and who goes. Now that he is there, the surprising thing is, yes, he costs a lot of money, but a lot less than what you kind of expect. I think when you hear Haaland, you're probably thinking 150 million easily. And the fact that they were probably going to pay about 120, 130 for Kane last summer.
Yeah.
And now they go and get Haaland for whatever it is, 50 million plus however much they're paying him in agent fees and all this, and in his wages and all that stuff. But still, it still seems like an absolute bargain for a guy that's 19 years old or 20 years old. So
just last season, they spent almost double out on Grealish, who's done
really exactly right. So, which makes an interesting point for Grealish as well, because he's not shown too much there. And he's still the big money signing. So it'd be interesting to see how much game time he gets. I can't see him being the one to leave, obviously.
Just love the Pep. What was it, 13 years ago? Why would I buy a striker?
Yeah. Let's get into the rest of the game. So these ones I reckon will fly through, because again, Watford versus Leeds, I don't really care. Leicester, I don't really care. Leicester's not fighting for anything. Leeds this is a big game for Leeds. For Watford. No, it's not.
No, they're both done.
Watford's done. So this is going to be 2-1 to Leicester, and that's it. How do you feel?
I think the only way you can look at it is Leicester would hope to finish in the top 10. And that's not very good for their season, to be honest. But that's the last straw of hope. So if they can't do this, then they're in for next season.
All right. Now, the team that I was getting confused with, Leeds versus Brighton. I believe that if Leeds fail to beat Brighton this game and Everton win their game against Brentford in a bit, that sees Everton safe. So will that happen? Don't know. But do Leeds come out as a result this game, do you think, against Brighton, who, they've been great this season?
Yeah, well, they need to pull it out. They need to find a way. I can't even sit here and say that Leeds could win, because they've shown nothing, even when the times are getting tough. Like, they haven't even shown that effort. They've won maybe one game this season that shone the light of last season, I guess. And yeah, this is it for them. That will be officially down. If they lose this, no matter what results fall anywhere else, that's it. Unless Burnley's already
I don't think they go down mathematically yet.
They will, because Burnley need a win. If Burnley win this week, then that's it. Because Everton are already that 2 points.
No, because they'll only take them 3 points clear, and Leeds still have 2 games to go. So mathematically, they're not down. But
Everton draw and Burnley win, then and Leeds lost. That's mathematically down. So it's this week, depending on some results, because their goal difference is shocking.
They can still pick up 6 points. They can still technically hit 40 points.
No, I'm saying, if they lose this, then that's it.
If they lose this, then yes.
Yeah. So mathematically, it could be the end of it this season for them.
Yes, if all results go right. So is that what's going to happen? They're going to lose?
I don't see why not. I mean, Brighton are looking pretty hot. They battered United, and I don't see why they can't do the same thing to Leeds, who have no defence. Yeah.
The only way I could see Leeds coming away with a result here and a win would be if Ellen Road is absolutely packed and really behind them, like Goodison Park's been for Everton. But I think Brighton's the wrong team to be coming up against. Because Brighton, they're just on another level this year compared to others. So I don't know. I'm going to go with the 2-1 Brighton and just kind of, puts an end to Leeds for the most part. Villa versus Palace now. I think both teams just want to kind of finish above each other, don't they, at this point? 11th and 12th. That's kind of their season. So good season for Palace, I'd say. Not as much for Villa, considering they probably want to be finishing a bit higher now. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 Villa win. How are you seeing it?
I'm much the same. I think Villa showed enough that they might scrap a result. And if I'm sitting here and hoping that they can get a result against City the week after, I need them in as red-hot form as possible. And they'll look at it and go, yeah, well, we have every chance. They can finish in the top 10. So I don't see why they wouldn't be pushing for this one. That's what they want. If they want to hold on to, if they want to sign a Coutinho, whether he wants to stay there or not.
Apparently he was officially signed, like he's permanently. Apparently signed the last day or so. It hasn't been announced by the club, but Fabrizio confirmed it. So
yeah, well, I guess so. But if anyone else is going to join in there to help him, then they're going to need to. They're going to need to be finishing that top 10 if anyone's going to be dropping any more money into that club, because I reckon 2-1, same result.
For this result, we know what you want to see. We want to see a Brentford win on your half, but I think this is the one again that if they win, Everton, they're safe. So I think Goodison Park will be, again, rocking and might get them over the line. Brentford's a tricky team, but I think this could be a 1-0 Everton win, scrappy again, and just that's it for them. They stay up. They live to fight another day.
Well, for Brentford, who we all put going dead last season, they're going to have a very final say on who actually goes down, because they've got both of them. They got Leeds and Everton.
Yeah.
So they could put one away or the other. So I don't have much confidence in Everton here. I mean, they're either going to collapse knowing that Leeds have won a game and they're just going to fall away, or Leeds could lose the game and Everton will go, oh well, our jobs are done, and not give up like we've seen most of the season. So I think Everton are losing this, and Brentford are in good enough form that like their striking ability, like, they'll be fine. They'll put something past that defense. It's non-existent and little T-Rex in goals, and nothing again.
He's been good recently, though.
Oh, who cares? The bloke deserves to win the championship. It's a disgrace. So yeah, and I want to see him in the championship because I'm sick of seeing him play for England. I mean, there's much better keepers we could throw in there, and if he stays up, I guarantee you they'll still play him. They'll keep him there, but keep him above. Grace.
All right, Newcastle, Arsenal. Again, depends how this North London derby goes, I think, is the main point. Newcastle haven't been good recently, but we know their season's been a great turnaround from where they were. They could, again, have a big say in this top 4 race. Do they? I think, yes. I think it could be a 1-1 draw. I think it could be the tricky game after the North London derby for Arsenal. And again, another spanner in the works, depending on how that North London derby goes. So 1-1 draw, I see. Newcastle kind of finish the season in a decent way. You seeing an Arsenal win here or Newcastle?
No, I think they throw all their eggs in the North London derby basket. No matter the result, they come up here and park the bus to get that point. Well, I mean, in realistic terms, that's what they need to do. All they need to do is defend, and they can do it. So Ramsdale keep that clean sheet, 0 or draw. They'll be like they've won the Champions League, as we've seen, then accelerate ecstatically this season. So that'll do them, 0 or draw. I don't expect anything else.
All right, final game of the round. It's your boys straight after a cup final. You then play on the Wednesday. Southampton versus Liverpool. I think you should do them pretty comfortably, regardless of how you got on the weekend. I think this should be the 4-0 that kind of again takes the lead to the final day.
Much the same. I don't see us losing this. I think this is probably the game where Diaz really shows up and goes, yeah, I'm here in the Premier League. I mean, he's been good. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists in his last few matches, but this game, I can see a double, even just having that confidence to still have another trophy in the pocket after, winning that cup final and going on with it. I think he's really starting to think, and I think Mane, the striker, I think it's like rejuvenated him. I mean, he's not been bad, but him playing through the middle, he just looks so much happier again, and he looks like he's ready to take on everything again. And he wanted that contract just much like Salah. I mean, he's been linked with some others. I think Bayern have come knocking as well, and I think winning these games is gonna keep him here, and we're gonna need to. So I don't see anything less than 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to obviously have our differences on the cup final. I think Chelsea win. I think you obviously think Liverpool will win, but yeah, this game against Southampton is comfortably win and again take it into the final day. So that's going to wrap us up. The review next week will be interesting because I think there'll be a lot of twists and turns along the road over this course of the weekend. So we will see you again then. Thanks for joining me, Morty.
No.